If you caught my last video, you already know how important the first step of wedding planning is. So many people skip this step, and I've met so many brides who regret it later. That step is laying the foundation. If you haven't watched it, go back to that video, watch it. I go in depth about what laying the foundation means, and there's a free resource there as well. Once you've gotten clear on laying the foundation, what comes next matters just as much as step one. But what a lot of people tend to do is they dive right into all the details and they get overwhelmed because they feel like they need to do everything right now. Most brides try to tackle everything at once. They try to do their timeline, floor plans, book all their vendors and their venue, figure out design boards and color palette, which absolutely leads to burnout. And what you really need is a step-by-step clear plan and process so that you know that you're building on your last decision and you're moving in the right direction without having to do everything right now. So having that process will allow you to continue to live your life, plan your wedding, and be clear on your vision. That is exactly what I teach my clients who are doing a lot of the planning themselves. And then the clients who hire us for more hands-on services like full service or partial, this is the process that me and my team use when we're working with them and their weddings. And today I want to give you a high-level look of what that process looks like so you would know exactly what to do next. I'll give a quick overview of phase one. You have booking your venue, vision, priorities, and budget, not necessarily in that order. But in phase one, it's very high level. This is like the frame of your house, right? You're gonna have a foundation, you're gonna have walls, you're gonna have plumbing. So this is that for your wedding. This is your blueprint. Skipping this is like having the house without all of those major details. You have no floors, you have no walls. What do you have? You have nothing. Again, if you missed video one, I went ahead and linked it below. You can grab the free resource so you can make sure you do that extremely, extremely important step. Do not be a bride who regrets skipping phase one. Phase two, this is where you bring the vision to life with your wedding vendors. And not just any vendors, these are the right vendors, not just who is available. This could include your photographer, DJ, planner, florals, any specialty vendors that you might want to work with. You might work with someone on Etsy, you might work with a stationer. So you're really just filling in the color of your wedding with all the people who are going to help you. This is where you really get good at outsourcing those heavy tasks that some of us try to do ourselves. That's another video for another day. But this is where you build your dream team so that you can focus on what's most important on your wedding day, which is getting married. Not running around, not being stressed, not being sweaty because you're running around trying to be the planner and the bride. You should be finding the right people who feel good to you, who are knowledgeable, who are professional, and who will really have your back on wedding day. Okay, so phase three, this is where the details really start to take shape and the ideas and all the moving parts start to come together. All the puzzle pieces are starting to come together. And so this is where you're working on your timeline. You're getting really clear about what vendor's doing what, who's gonna be where's your wedding party, hair and makeup. Schedules are so important here. Do not skip this detail. Please make sure you take the time to understand all of your details. You really flesh it out on a timeline so that you know what's happening minute by minute on the wedding day, including rehearsal. This also is a time for your layouts and understanding the rental orders, how many tables are coming, how many chairs are coming, how many linens do you need pipe and drape. All of these things should all start to come together like a puzzle piece. And if there are any discrepancies, this is the time to address it. So for example, if you have booked a photographer for 4 hours, 4 hours is enough time to cover your reception typically. Let's say you have a reception from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., but you need someone to photograph your ceremony. And you're like, ooh, we either need to shift that time up or you need to extend the contract out and say, hey, can you come earlier? I'd like you to be here for ceremony. I'd also like you to be here for hair and makeup as well. So those are the discrepancies that I'm referring to, that maybe when you booked, you weren't as clear on your details, but now you've got your people locked in and you may need to make some tweaks, and that is totally okay. So just make sure you are triple checking those details and they all align with how you want your day to flow. This is shameless plug. This is where you need a planner. A planner will do that for you. Okay, so last phase 4, this is like where everything comes together. I know I said that last time, but even more, this is where you're doing your execution phase, right? So you're going into your wedding day, your wedding rehearsal, maybe wedding week, and now it's time to get even more clear on what needs to happen at this point. So you're probably gonna have a rehearsal. You may have a rehearsal dinner at this point. You may have a planner. I highly recommend it, overseeing your wedding day, who's gonna be your day of coordinator to manage all of your details, your setup, your vendors, your guests, you, and making sure everything happens the way that you have executed this day to be. So this is the time to get organized. No more big decisions at this point. At this point, it's really about just clarifying anything that is still looming. If you can go ahead and address any pending details, get it done, because on the wedding day, you don't want to be making decisions that should have been handled. Now, there are game day decisions of like, I think we want to shift the cake table this way. It doesn't fit in this corner the way that we envision, but that's totally fine. Like, those are just minimal tweaks. And if you have a solid vendor team, they will do that for you, right? You should not be in there doing it. Again, if you have a planner, you'll be off doing hair and makeup, getting dressed, maybe taking photos, first look, and all that fun stuff. You should not be in there doing it. But again, that's another video for another day. At this point, it's just about clearing up any pending things, no major decisions at this point, and just making sure everybody is clear about where they need to be and who is where and doing what. One last thing about this phase 4, some people don't think they need a rehearsal, but you absolutely do. Even if it's a quick 10-minute, just make sure that you are walking the space and you can get a sense of the music, the timing of walking in and out. Even if you don't have a wedding party, we've done rehearsals with just the bride and groom and the officiant. But you want to make sure that you're feeling good and clear. And again, this gives you an opportunity to just run through details that don't have to be addressed on wedding day, because you already have a sense of it. Everyone is super clear. This is not the time to wing anything. Even if you can't do it at your venue, you can sort of recreate your space at home, in your backyard, in a hotel lobby. Whatever you have, do it. We've done it in a million different places and it's worked out just fine, and we just adapt on the wedding day. So do what you can to make it successful. That's one less thing off your plate on wedding day. I know this feels like so much. These are just 4 steps, but there's a lot that goes into these 4 steps. Again, that's why you should work with a planner, whether it's my team or someone else that may be closer to you locally. But this is what planners do. We don't all have the same process, but if you insist on doing this thing on your own, or maybe you are hiring a day of person, but they don't start working with you until much later in the process, perfectly fine. No matter where you are in this process, just make sure that you're going through these steps. But like I said, this can be a lot, and it is a lot. And you're expected to know how to plan a wedding when maybe you've never planned one. Maybe you've never been married. Even if you've been married 5 times, you've only done it 5 times in your life, it doesn't give you enough practice to really understand how to plan a wedding. So this process is designed to make this whole thing super clear. You can really be present at each phase. And that is the luxury of this, because you want to enjoy this process. This is one of those few milestones in your life where you really get to celebrate you and your fiance and your family. And that's exactly what it should be. So make sure that you're following the process. Here's the truth. You don't need to plan it all at once. You just need a system that gives you the right next step at every turn. So if you're feeling like this process is what you've been missing, just a clear way to do the planning process so you can actually enjoy it, I created a free resource that's called the Confident Bride Kickoff that walks you through phase one, laying the foundation that will help you really get this ball rolling. It'll help you get clear on your vision, priorities, budget, and just overall strategy. Right, you're like, I need a strategy for my wedding. Yes, you do. It's simple, it's calming, it's totally doable, and the downloadable link is below. Maybe you've already done step one, you've already laid your foundation. You're like, girl, I've done that foundation. That foundation concrete is dry. What is next? In that download, there's an option to upgrade to get the rest of the system, where you'll go through phases 2, 3, and 4, like I just talked about here, so that you can continue on with your planning, feeling confident about your decisions. You don't have to keep winging wedding planning. You just need a process that makes sense to you, and it adapts as you're moving through it, and you can approach it in a way that feels manageable and authentic to where you are and what you do. So whether you're planning your wedding on your own or you have help along the way, this process is going to be beneficial to you and make your wedding feel like you and your fiance, and allows space for you to tell your love story on your celebration day. Next up, I'm walking you through the most common mistakes brides make in phase one and how to avoid them. You'll definitely want to hear this before you start booking vendors and spending money. I will see you there.